here
of
for
what
to
you're
develop
doing.
them. That's what we are here for.
But that's not how it's done.
Oh,
You
wait a minute.
you don't
First
create
of all,
a hot house atmosphere.
All children are different. I raise my children the way I feel to raise my children. You raise yours the way you want. Nobody's talking about greenhouse. We're talking about nurturing children.
Hello, Tanya. Wait a minute. Okay, you got the point across that this is your prerogative, but at the same time what the doctor is trying to say is that you are not an island. You don't live in America by yourself.
I understand.
So let me stop you for a second. Wait, let me make my point. This child is aged...
Also, there are developmental steps, and a child can't take the impact of that heat that you're providing him.
Those developmental steps, Dr. Catalina, have been created solely, purely by Europeans when we talk about Piaget and Erickson. And those people were living during a Victorian age. Now is a new age.
Dr. Gardere, you gotta come back here, you know, because we don't know these. Who did you say?
These are developmental people who said what the stages of development are. And yes, the stages of development are helpful.
Why is there an incest taboo? I'm not talking about you're bringing
up the incest taboo.
I'm not talking about this situation. Why is there an incest taboo? Because the kids can't emotionally handle the impact of the difference in their feelings.
Some children cannot. Some children cannot. You're right. Some children cannot, but we can't categorize all children in that way if she's dealing with that.
The impact of that intense feeling can't be handled by the thinking process.
What intense feeling are we talking about here, Dr.
What intense feeling are you talking about?
Of putting this child into a grown-up wedding gown situation. He wasn't the ring bearer, he was the bridegroom.
I think you're having more of an intense reaction to it than the child himself.
Hang on just a second, wait a minute. Yes, ma'am. I need to bring her over there so she can get a point in, because you guys weren't paying attention to anything we're doing here. Yes.
First of all, I wanted to say to you, it sounds like you're using your son to fill an empty void. And to you...
But you have to understand, my husband and I have planned to do this before
it sounds like, you know, you say you sleep with your son tonight. How about those days when those nights when you want to go out? What he's going to do then? He's 4 years old, and he needs his mother because he constantly sleeps with you. And to y'all two, y'all are the sickest. You agree with these people, right? You agree? You agree with these people, and I was sitting back there wondering, do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Do you walk around nude in your house?
If I'm taking a shower...
I'm going to let her continue, but I got to go to a break, so you go ahead. We're going to break. We'll be back right after this. Go ahead. So, give us a call. We'd like to hear about it. I'm still raising your children, and I'm going to go to you, Dr. Gardere, I'm sorry. What is... We got to get to the bottom line because we're almost out of time. What do you feel this can do to damage a child, or do you think this can damage a child?
I believe that this can damage a child. Would I do this with my kids? No. Will I make a value judgment against them? No. If they come to me and say, can you help me maintain my child's sanity through this different lifestyle? Yes, as a psychologist, I am bound ethically to work with them, and I believe it's their own choice.
All right. Dr. Catalina, what do you think?
I find no fault with that. I agree with that entirely, but I still hold that developmentally that this is unsound for the children. I would predict that you're going to have a lot of trouble in the future.
Yes, ma'am. Stand up. You have a question? Yes, ma'am.
The thing is, I wanted to know, did you investigate any, like, traditional measures with children that has been taken culturally? Like, in African culture, you have a naming ceremony when the child is 1 month old, and it's similar to what you have done, but the difference is that the child's level of consciousness is very different, because at 4, they're now integrating the environment, and at 1 month old, they're still an infant. So parents do it, and it's been being done since like 500, thousands of years. People have named their children, and it's very similar.
All right, but you're saying that you should do that when the child's very young.
Baby. Everybody has a christening. They get godparents. We do these things, but the children are very small, and their consciousness is not as open as when they're 2 and 3 years old, because they're going to keep everything with them. When I was 5,
hold on, because we got to get an answer. We're almost out of time. Did you think about doing this when the child was younger, or did you think about doing this with the production of the book?
And no, I wanted to also do it when my son could understand the vows that I did take. That's right.
So you wanted him to understand it very clearly?
Yes, I did.
All right, we've got to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
1835 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203, or call 303-831-9000. If you have an idea for a show or would like to make a comment or suggestion, we'd like to hear from you. Call 1-900-933-3900. Each call costs 75 cents per minute.
We were talking about different lifestyles in raising your children, and I don't think that I can be a judge or anybody can really be a judge in how a parent raises their own child, but I will tell you that if it's doing any damage whatsoever, then I think it's wrong, and that's why I'm glad we have people like the two doctors here who are there to shore them up once the damage is done, but I just sure hope that we evaluate what we do before we do any damage at all. Join us on the next Montel Williams Show, please.
If you'd like